now like to take this opportunity to thank the members of the wedding party. On behalf of Michelle and I would like to thank Nadia for being a fabulous maid of honour and for organising Michelle's wedding. Here in Spain, and I'd also like to express my appreciation for Paul's hard work as an amazing best man, organising my stag parties both here and in Portugal, and also to thank him in advance for being easy on me in his speech. Michelle and I have greatly appreciated both of your help, and would like to let everyone know that if it had not been for you two, Michelle and I may never have met. Nadia and Paul, Michelle and I have some gifts. I think Michelle's already passed to Nadia, and looks like Paul's already got his, so we're very efficient today, aren't we? Oh. Right, we'd also like to thank We would also like to thank the ushers, David and Andrew, for their tireless hard work and efforts throughout the day, together with the Master of Ceremonies, Mark Kelleher, for assisting Father Andrew at the Abbey and for saying grace before the meal. We've already given all the men in the wedding party a gift of cufflinks they're wearing, so I'm not going to ask you to come up to receive empty boxes, because that would be silly. Whilst I'm in this thread, I'd also like to thank the ring bearers for being fine, upstanding young men and for keeping our rings safe on their journey to the altar. Boys, there's some presents for you if you'd like to come up. Finally, Michelle and I would like to thank the bridesmaids, Jessica, Holly, Millie, Ruby and Lola, for the support and energy they've brought to Michelle, and would also like to compliment them on how pretty they all look today. Girls, I hope you enjoyed your wedding jewellery, but we also have another small gift for you if you'd like to come up. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to not break the rhythm, I'd like you to be upstanding for two final toasts, and we'll stand up for both of them. The first is to the bridal party. And the second one is to the bridesmaids. Okay. I'd now like to hand over to my good friend Paul for his speech. Please be nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, best man, Paul Ferreira. Thank you.
There would be honours doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, I am of course the best man and my name is Paul. I've known Greg for a little while, I think that's safe to say, since we were about 4, which is a lot more years than I care to remember. This is going back to the days when Greg and I, well, he's probably about this big, I was probably a little bit bigger, and Greg about this wide.
You're a little bit wide.
Yeah. We were wearing shorts, I think, knee-high socks.
That last weekend.
And Greg was sporting a uni-brown and a full head of hair. Obviously a lot has changed. Now, Greg has begged me not to include the story in my speech. Here's something I would say, if Greg had ever done anything remotely exciting. Sadly for me, in reality, he is pretty dull and boring. He's no nicknames. If you know any, please shout them out. Really? Oh, please shout out. No? And he's never done anything remotely risky. Or has he? think it's time for a little Greg trivia, or as I like to call it, 10 things you should know if you're marrying Greg. You may not, number one, let's start at the beginning. Number one, you may not realise this from looking at him, but Greg is in fact a karate kid. If you ask him, he'll tell you he's a black belt. Which is true, but don't be fools, he's only second dan. For those of you who don't know, that means there's 8 more to go. And therefore there's still plenty of people who can still kick his butt. In marriage though, Greg, it's not the belt that's important, it's the trousers. And we'll leave Michelle to the one wearing those. Number 2, worked it out yet, Greg is a crazy cat lady. That is to say, he owns 2 cats, Bella and Prince, I think you've heard of them already. He likes to spoil them rotten. They have their own room. They have the in this room. He feeds them organic prawns. And if that wasn't bad enough, no self-respecting man would admit that he actually bought them a cat-sized hamster wheel. That's right. Oh, there's more. Number 3. I don't know if you've ever been to a nightclub at Greg, but he certainly makes an impression. Not only is one of the most enthusiastic dancers, dancing cute as karate moves to himself, picture one of the backing dancers from Steps, fairly close, only camper and sweatier. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, you're in for a treat later, but I suggest you keep your distance or whip out the brollies. Number 4. There's only one word to describe Greg's driving. Scary. For many years, this man has terrorised his friends and neighbours by attempting to drive a tiny little red Nissan Micra at incredible speeds around the evening, whilst launching the prodigy out of the 5-kilometre pace boot of his car. Amazingly though, he's so boring that even with his driving style, he doesn't have any points in his licence. More? I think so. The average man, sorry, number 5, the average man would never think to go to a kebab shop, except in a moment of extreme desperation, weakness, or drunkenness. Not so. Then again, Greg isn't your average man. During his university years, Greg proved that one man can solely exist on a diet of chicken kebabs alone. By the way, Greg, Uncle Frank, that's the proprietor of Greg's favourite dining establishment, Uncle Frank's Kebab Van, sent you his love on this day, and he's retired, of course, in a villa in Marbella. Number 6, short and sweet. Greg once tried and failed to become a pret-a-manger mystery shopper. Number 7. He used to like to wear a dressing gown at university, so obscenely short that he ended up flashing most of his forehead on his wedding day. Most of them are still traumatised today. Number 8. He has a Beavis and Butthead magazine collection and is able to quote them at will. The laugh is uncannily similar. It's a bit scary that a grown man can still do that, but never mind. Number 9. Greg was well known at university for believing that photocopying documents is the same as reading them. This has no doubt prepared him amply for a career in law. Although I've heard that he now has somebody else to do his photocopying for him, so I'm not really sure what he does all day. Number 10. Most of you will already know that he pretty much only drinks one drink. Anybody know what that is? A vodka Red Bull. So he's not a cheap date. What you didn't know is not only impossible to get Drew to drink a manly shot. True? True. But he will gladly accept a girly cocktail. You know, one of those with a little umbrella and a bit of fruit. Try them later, he'll take you up on the offer. There's your 10 facts. I've got one last little gem for you. I hunted far and wide, high and low, for a story involving Greg that was even remotely embarrassing, and managed to unearth the following. Once upon a time, there was a student called Greg, who, in a misguided attempt to look cool, decided it would be a good idea to leap over a shopping trolley wearing roller skates. Where do all the cool kids hang out? Obviously, the B&Q parking lot. Much like a gazelle, Greg leapt over the trolley, not once, twice, but 3 times. And yes, much like you, I'm struggling to marry that image up with Greg. Nevertheless, apparently there were eyewitnesses, so I'm inclined to believe it. Let's hear it for Greg.
Woo!
The 4th time didn't quite go as planned. Once again, Greg leapt high into the air, but instead of clearing the end of the trolley, he clipped it with brakes on the back wheel. He's somewhat ungracefully fell face first into the pavement. Everyone thought he was dead. Fortunately for you all here today, especially Michelle, the only things that were injured were his ego, and I believe you got a crown. Not too bad, not too bad. Just so you know though, Greg's excuse for messing this up was that he was a little bit tired. Personally, I like to believe that he either lost a bet with gravity, or Uncle Frank's kebab van pulled up in the car. So, how did we get here today? Well, I'm just going to lay it out there. What with the cap dancing and the girly drinks, there have been more than a few discussions about Greg's sexual orientation. But then, one night, many moons ago, Greg, myself, and a few of the boys went out for a few drinks at the pub opposite the station. Now, admittedly, I'm a little fuzzy in all the details. It's been a while. My memory isn't quite what it used to be. But I do remember on that night, we were introduced to a small group of girls. And amongst that group, there was a young, pretty girl with long dark hair, who Greg seemed to take a shine to. I think his exact words were, "I quite like the look of her." There was no deliberation, no preamble, no faffing. You pretty much made a beeline straight for her. We were gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked. I remember at some point during the course of the evening, he had to pop out, back to his car to get something, and he ended up legging it back. What possible reason could he justify this sudden departure had been the focus of many drunken discussions. Breath freshener? Emergency deodorant? Lucky pants? To this day, we still don't know, and Greg won't tell. What we do know is that he did return a lot sweatier than when he left. Naturally, we all thought you were punching well above your weight, and you didn't really stand a chance. Can you blame us? No. But, as you may have all guessed, that young girl turned out to be Michelle, and funny enough, the pub was called the Better Half. We still don't know what he saw in it, what she saw in it, even. But the fact remains that it's been, as you said before, it's almost 12 years to the day, and here we are. In all seriousness, everyone that knows Greg will know that he's a kind, open and generous person, that he's reliable, honest, level-headed, who never lets his friends down. I know that Michelle is the one for him, as he is the one for Michelle. It's clear to me Greg would do anything for Michelle, that he loves her with all his heart, and that he'll make you a really fine husband. They make a perfect couple, always looking out for each other. They've been inseparable since day one, and I can't think of a better match. That's an excellent word. First, a little telegram. Hot off the press today for you. Congratulations and best wishes, Michelle and Gregory, on this your wedding day. May you have a life of everlasting happiness together. Lots of love. Gabriel and Margaret. Finally, I'd just like to say a few thank yous. I'd like to thank both Mitchell and Genevieve for helping, Mitchell and Genevieve, John and Irene, for helping to make this day possible. John and Irene, congratulations, you've gained a beautiful daughter-in-law. Mitchell and Genevieve, congratulations, you've gained free legal advice. Sorry. No. I mean, discounts of legal advice, Greg often will change that. I want to thank the flower girls, I think you'll all agree they look beautiful. I want to thank the Nadia, the maid of honour. And the ring bearers, I think they all look very dapper, wherever they're seated, just down there. And I'd like to thank all of you for coming down here today and helping make Greg and Michelle celebrate this day. Finally, would you all stand and raise your glasses to the bride and groom? May today be the beginning of a wonderful and new long-lasting chapter in your lives, and may they always love, honour and cherish each other, just as they do today. To the bride and groom. Bride and groom.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal part of the evening. Please enjoy your dinner. Bon appetito. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can invite you please to make your way over this side of the room by the main entrance to where the cake cutting will take place.
I think they're coming back in. That's fine.
I guess most importantly of all, we need mums and dads, close proximity. And those of you with your own cameras, I promise, will enable you, once the professionals have their shots, to get some shots as well. So now I'd like to invite Michelle and Gregory to come over here. I'm just going to pose them up.
Come over this side. That's it. You come on this side. Just here, Gregory. I'm going to come from here. So that's going to be your cut position. So you're going to come in from here. Could you? Okay, what I'm going to do, just invite you to come this way a little bit. Sorry, I don't know, that's fine. We won't start until everyone's ready. Your left hand, nothing's going to happen. That's okay. Nothing will happen. It's the top of the test. So, all I need you to do, nothing will happen. So just look towards Malcolm. And then a couple looking down at the cake. It won't actually cut, I promise. And then looking at each other. Look at each other. Nothing. I just want to make sure that you're both here. That's fine. That's okay.
I believe that completes everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, before we cut the cake, I'd just like the gentlemen in the room to put their hands up if they're married. Don't be embarrassed about this fact. That's fine. Okay. Now you will remember years ago, when you got married, there was such a thing as the upper hand. Those of you that are close by will see that Greg's hand is on top. That's traditionally known as the upper hand. This doesn't last very long, those of you that have been out for a long time. So I want you to enjoy this 30 seconds of fame. And then afterwards, just do as you're told. That always works. If you look towards our camera. Ladies and gentlemen, with a countdown on 3, with your assistance. 3, 2, 1. If I could now invite them into the middle of the floor, if I could ask everybody else to go to the edge of the dance floor, please. Edge of the dance floor.
Just behind you. Right, so you're going to get into a situation.
Oh, you were just going on there.
Okay. I'll grab the mic, introduce you, and then over to Matt. Sorry, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the floor, Mr. and Mrs. Campbell for the first wedding dance.
I thought they'd do something really boring.
WT Sabre, that was probably.
Austrian white is expensive because they are up there.
Through there.
Sorry, I'm going to get you a drink.
I'm going to the bar, which is that way.
Feel my neck. Sorry. Hello, Anthony. I don't know where John is. I've lost him.
You know what, when it comes down, see if we can have them in raw. That
Yeah, I will give them to you in raw anyway. I've said
maybe
that
if you've
to
got them as JPEGs as well.
Yeah. I'll let you show your friend. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. So you've been wet. Thank you. Oh, come out for a cool down.